What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Takeover. I am Mel, and I'm joined by Lauren and Amber. What's going on, ladies?
What's up?
Hello,
What's up?
hello.
How y'all doing? How was y'all week?
Well, I will. First of all, I just want to apologize because I have not been communicating very well in the chats this week. I just had a lot going on. Not to mention, I've been drunk and high. You know, I ain't really been paying much attention to anybody. So, but other than that, things has been going good.
Understood.
Okay, understood. Right. It's funny we all got our glasses on today.
Right. I lost my contacts sometime this week. I don't know what happened. They around here somewhere.
Oh man, I'm probably gonna take mine off because I'm not good at wearing them like I should anyway.
What's going on, Amber?
Nothing much. This week has been good for me so far. Pretty much just been going to work. It's been crazy busy at work, but I've been hanging in there. My work goal's been pretty heavy, but I've been getting through it one day, one step at a time. So when the weekend got here, I was relieved because I felt like I could take a minute to catch a breather. And I did some more decorations, or added some more decorations to the outside. I've been doing a Beetlejuice theme for Halloween this year.
Oh,
Yep. Yes. I'll send y'all a picture when I get a chance. But yeah, I added some cute little tombstones and stuff. It's coming together pretty nice. So yeah, it was pretty good this weekend for me.
That's what's up. I'm not really a big Halloween person. If somebody asks to dress up, I'll do it. If they don't, I don't. I don't really even, be that serious on it. I used to like to do it in my 20s. I was in college and we all used to dress up and do whatever, but
Right.
I don't really do it much now. I probably need to get back into having fun and doing
Thank
it.
you, Galen.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah, I love Halloween. Like that is my favorite like holiday of the year.
Same.
I just love to go out. I mean, I may not always dress up, even though that's my goal, but I just love to go out. I love we'll go out and drive around and just look at the houses that are like all decked out. Like I love doing stuff like that for Halloween. We go to this one area where the kids trick or treat every year, and they pass out like drinks to the parents. So that's right up my alleyway. So, but yeah, I love Halloween. I love everything about it. I just watched Hocus Pocus 2.
I heard it was good.
Yes, it was so good. And it's going to be like
I
a
need to see
prequel
it.
to it. It's going to continue on. I think they're going to like talk about the beginning of the Sanderson sisters and how they got to where they got to. It was so good and so tasteful the way they did it. I'm really appreciating it. And then I'm such a Halloween and a Hocus Pocus freak that I'm a part of a Hocus Pocus group on Facebook. And so we talk about everything Hocus Pocus. And so they put up here a clip that Whoopi Goldberg, because if you remember Sister Act 2, the Sanderson sister that has the crooked mouth, she played the nun in Sister Act 2 with a loud voice. So apparently, because they got so many good ratings on Disney for Hocus Pocus 2, that we are supposed to be getting a Sister Act 3 now.
Really?
So that's been talked about, and I love me some sister act now. So I'm just like,
Yes,
so
I'm here for
I'm
it.
here, I'm so here for it. So
I am here for it.
it was
Okay,
so
well,
good, Alex. Like, wasn't it? Like, it was good. It was, and I mean,
I
Alex,
have
I
to
think we
see
can
it.
agree we didn't need the kids to watch it. We was just in it on our own.
Yeah, I told my
I've been
mom I
seeing.
promised her I'll wait till she comes to visit to watch it. It's for me and her to watch it together because that was like a
Mhm.
childhood favorite of mine as a
Mhm.
kid. So me and her will watch the first Hocus Pocus together. So I was on the phone with her and she said, I'm coming down to visit y'all. So she coming down in November, the first, I think like the second week
Nice.
of November. So I told her I'll wait for her to get here and then we'll
Yeah.
watch it together. So I'm looking forward
Oh,
to it.
that'd be cool. I
I
Yeah.
have
love
to
it.
see it. Well, all right, ladies, we ready for this podcast
Let's
I'm
today?
jump
lit.
into it.
Today we talking about workplace drama.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Let's go.
Nah, in my field, I don't really have too much workplace drama. People would think I do, but I don't. I'm a hairdresser, so I don't really have that many things going on. There's only three of us in the salon. They older than me. I love it that way. I've always set it up that way to where I can work with older women that ain't about a bunch of drama. So I don't have that much, but I have had some drama in the past. In the previous line of work that I did, I ended up dating a coworker. I know that's a no no. Everybody says don't date at work, but
Mhm.
my dumb self did it anyway. And not only was there a lot of drama surrounding that, he ended up cheating on me multiple times with multiple women at work.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of drama. I almost lost my job. He almost lost his job. Hey Ralph, almost lost his job. I ended up going off on him in front of everybody and all
Right.
of this stuff. And the girls was nowhere to be found. One of them come apologizing and all of that. I'm like, this too much. This is why people say don't be dating at work. But
Yep.
it was a big mess at work. And from that day forward, I vowed never to go down that road again.
Mhm.
Like my dog that I have now was from that relationship. We went our separate ways. I got the dog. He went on with his life. I went on with mine. Neither one of us worked there anymore. It was just a big, and it was like a little high school there anyway. So
Mhm.
that's true. That is true.
Mhm.
So I learned my lesson, and
Yep.
luckily I went ahead and got on out that industry. Anyway, it was in the medical field, so I ended up getting out of there anyway and following my calling. So now I'm where I should be, and I don't
Good.
need the workplace trauma no more.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
I don't know. I would say from, oh my goodness. Okay, so I come from medical. So I did medical assisting for 15 years, and baby, it's drama. It's gonna always be drama because it's competition. It's nothing but
Hmm.
competition in the medical field, and that was something that I felt like I had to leave because I'm not a competitive person. In that sense, I am like really cliche in a way where I'm like, I want us all to do well and grow together. That's just kind of how I worked as a medical assistant because I really stuck hold to the belief of the common goal is to make sure that our patients are good. So we should not be in the back end arguing with each other and going through. But honey, listen, the medical field it's going to be that
Is
way,
all of that and more.
and all of
Yep.
that and more. So I have worked in an office where the doctor was sleeping with his PA, cheating on his pregnant wife with his PA. That was a whole drama in itself. And so I came to finding out about that because we actually caught them in his car humping like rabbits in the car.
Oh
So
my
that
god.
we were like, okay, I guess it was an early morning rump session. And so that became a whole ordeal. And then eventually I started getting treated with the crappy end of the stick because I knew about it. So I guess it was like, well, let's phase
Hmm.
her out so she won't tell. But baby, I ain't here to tell your business. That's up to you. Long story short, the wife found out, attacked him with a knife. It was a whole thing. Um, I don't work in that office anymore, so I got up out of there. I've actually lost a job behind office trauma and drama. I was
Mm.
I was working at Blue Cross and Blue Shield, which was a very good job at that time back in Jersey. And I was working in the claims department, and I met this girl who I thought was really cool. We were supposed to be really cool. I was taking her to church with me and everything. during the days when I was going to church. I was taking her to church and everything with me. And this guy that worked there, older guy, I did not know that them two were sleeping together. I was completely unaware of it. And what
Mm.
happened was they kept it to themselves and they came up with a story of, because there was no fraternizing at work at all. They came up with a story was, we'll make it seem like that the guy and me were sleeping together so that they can keep their affair under wraps because he was also married. And so it blew up. And it was like I come in the office one day and they're like, "Oh, you got to pack your things up. Your time is expired here." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Well, you know how we frown upon people messing with each other at work." I said, "Well, I'm not sleeping with nobody here. Oh, it's been said that you're sleeping with so and so, and it's at the third, and we seen group messages." And so apparently, I was in a group message with the girl and him, not knowing it was him because she didn't have the number saved, and they deleted certain messages between them two and left it as if I was responding to him and end up getting me fired from my job.
Oh my gosh.
Needless to say, me and this girl started going to the same nail salon together. She started taking me to her nail salon. That's how cool we became. We were going to nail salons together. She didn't understand that her living in Rahway, New Jersey was different than me living in Newark, New Jersey. Baby, we come different. So I said, "Oh, you got me fired." Okay. The drama continued because I met her ass at that nail salon. And what happened was she got a taste of a whole lot of Newark, New Jersey from that. But yeah, it's a lot of workplace, drama that just happens for no reason at all.
Yeah, you
Mm.
can't be playing with people's jobs. That's people's money and livelihood.
Right.
See,
Mm-mm.
I only had experience from the outside. Uh one instance where it was work drama related to something similar to like affairs and things like that. So we had a supervisor at the time, and somebody that was working up under him. Long story short, the guy that was working under him, he fired him. I can't remember exactly what the reasoning was, but he wasn't happy about it. So the guy that was fired decided to leave with a bang. So before he left, he sends a mass email out about this male supervisor. The guy that he fired was gay,
Mhm.
and so he basically put him on blast in this email saying that he's tried him up. The supervisor, the male supervisor, apparently tried up this young man who was fired, and he started listing everybody.
Oh.
He started listing everybody in the office that he supposedly was messing around with, uh,
Ooh.
male and female. And then he ends it with, "Oh, by the way, your wife is blind copied on this email," and his wife worked upstairs. So he saw he saw the email and obviously rushed upstairs because she was copied on it. I don't know what happened after the fact. I don't know if she confronted him. I just heard that this man, it was not the first time he's done something like that.
Wow.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, that
Wow.
was probably the one time I witnessed something like that, similar to y'all stories, just on the outside looking in.
Right.
And it was so awkward afterwards. Everybody was just just kind of looking at the supervisor like
For
so
real. Because it's like, what can you
yeah,
Mm.
do?
right.
Right. Like what do you do at that point? Like
It's
he's
nothing you
already
can
out the
do.
door.
Right.
So
And see, he already left. So yeah,
And
it's
listen,
just
messing around with me, I
wow.
want all the juice. You can't do something like that with me and then leave me hanging. I want to be out here digging up for more information. I want to know all of it. Like, that's just
He
how
went
I
out with a
am.
bang.
For real.
Wow. That's
yeah,
crazy.
big
That's
bang.
fun. I would think
But
so.
well, before we go further, we're going to break down exactly what work drama is and what it can include. Mel, you can go
Mm.
ahead with this.
So yeah, I was just looking up the definition. Like we all pretty much know what workplace drama is, but I just wanted to see if there was like anything we would have possibly been missing. So I saw the definition that says from time to time, most of us have experienced or even contributed to workplace drama. It can take many different forms: people gossiping, spreading rumors, complaining, lashing out emotionally, ranting about perceived wrong, purposely excluding others, taking sides in conflicts, and so forth. And no matter how drama manifests, it can be a highly destructive force inside a company. And I got that from the Pensacola News Journal. And from that definition, like, that is really true. It can be very destructive. Like, we all have these three separate stories, and in the end, stuff just fell apart. Like, it never ends well when it comes to workplace drama. Either you're gonna get fired, either you're gonna be suspended, somebody can end up injured or hurt. It just never ends well. So I personally like the fact that I work pretty much alone, in my industry, and it's nothing but laughs, and we have a good time with each other. But you could not pay me to go back into the corporate world. You couldn't pay me to go into the service industry, none of that, because it's gonna be some drama. All different personalities coming together for 8 hours, well, 5 to 8 hours a day. Like, yeah,
Sometimes more. Sometimes more,
sometimes more.
especially if you're in
Sometimes
the
you're working
hospital field. Yeah.
16s, and yeah,
With that
yep.
being said, it can be so destructive that there's actually some surveys that were done in this year on Flex Jobs, a 2022 survey, and they found that nearly 33% of employees in the U.S. are considering quitting their jobs, while 25% have actually resigned over the past 6 months, citing that toxic company culture as the number one reason for them leaving. And I also want to quickly differentiate, to me, what the difference between toxic company culture or toxic work environment versus work drama. To me, work drama is more so referring to drama between employees, rather than, to me, toxic work environments is when the drama is stemming from the actual company itself, or your bosses, or you got real bosses that come in there, take their frustrations out on people, stuff like that. But to me, it's just under a big umbrella, to me, that they're the same, but they're both drama in a sense. And that is actually the number one reason that people are leaving their jobs. And of course, salary and things like that also follow behind that. And 68% of those workers who actually did quit their jobs at that time, they left without even having another position lined up. So it was that bad where they were like, yeah, I'm good. And this is all to be found on CNBC.com as of this was talked about on April 13th of this year. So also, if you guys want to share your personal experiences at work in the comment section, any viewers, you guys can
put that in there.
Yes, put that in there. And also,
I would love to read some of those.
Right. I think Alex did drop one. I think Alex said she almost fought somebody.
Yes.
Yep. I understand that.
A customer. Yeah. Yeah. Retail is that place.
For that part. Retail.
Call centers, and they say, what is it? I heard warehouse jobs are full of drama. I hear about
I mean, and I can see that too, because you know what, honestly, a lot of them are underpaid. A lot of warehouse workers are very much underpaid, and they're busting their ass, and they're doing a lot. And the management will delegate, send down rules and delegate, and not even understanding that these workers are exhausted, they're tired. And so I could definitely see how the warehouse will have a lot of issues as far as trauma and things like that.
You got people with like plant wives, plant husbands, and you spend so much time together. Like I think Alex has said, you spend so much time together, you become like family. And also you get that work husband, that work wife type situation going on as well.
Yes, and that actually brings me to another statistics. This actually is pretty funny to me. I mean, I didn't know it went back this far, but so first off, a work spouse is a coworker of the opposite sex with whom you have a close platonic relationship with. And in many ways, these relationships can mirror a real marriage. Now, this was conducted like in a survey that was back in 2007, actually. So I personally didn't know that it was that they had work spouses and work husbands and wives back then. I really didn't know that was a term they used at the time. And 23% of those coworkers reported that that they have had a work spouse at that time. But now, to me, fast forward in 2020, it seems like things is a little different. The definition is overall the same. According to Forbes, a work spouse is a colleague you have a strong relationship with, who is the gender you're attracted to, and with whom you have a bond that resembles that of a marriage couple. In other words, it really was supposed to just be someone that you're close friends with who is of the opposite sex at work. That's what it's supposed to be. And then the survey from the Society for Human Resource Management found that 25% of workers have had a work wife or work husband as of 2020. And a Simply Hired survey found that half of the women and 41% of men reported having had a work spouse at some point in their careers altogether. And also, according to Forbes, the work spouse label, they feel like as of today is becoming problematic. People may think of their work spouse in a sexual way, partly due to the label itself. So, it starts off as, oh, that's my work husband, work wife. It starts off like, something just funny, playful, and then it starts to turn into something else. According to the Society for Human Resource Management survey as well, 50% of employees with work spouses admitted having a romantic attraction to this person. And in the Simply Hired survey, 84% of men and 61% of women report a romantic attraction to their work spouse. And that is the difference between the 2007 research versus the 2020 research. So,
wow.
Oh yeah, so like it sounds like so they, basically what they're saying is if you want to have a close bond with someone at work who is of the opposite sex, you can do that without calling them your work husband or your work wife.
Right.
True.
But now it's like it seems like once you start doing that, you don't know what the other person is thinking, and how they're taking that, and especially if they already have a significant other or a wife or husband at home.
Right.
I'm mad at Alex. Then we could discuss the title for that Starbucks. I ain't mad at you, Alex.
Yeah, I don't do too much believe in the working wife. Yeah, there are some people who are. That is actually a question people ask: is how do you feel about have you all had a work wife or a husband? That's a good question. Have y'all had a work wife or work husband?
Nope.
That's kind of sort of how I got into my relationship. That
Really?
with the person that I worked with, we would always joke around with each other like we were together, and then we just ended up together. So, but neither one of us were involved with anybody that I know of. I don't know with him, but I know I wasn't with nobody. So it kind of just went from a playful little thing to now we actually are going out and seeing each other. So that can be a thing that happens too. You might even meet your husband or your wife at work, just being work husband, work wife or whatever.
Right.
But normally that's not the case. Normally the parties are attached outside of work to somebody else.
Okay. I think for me, going off of the platonic definition of a work husband or work wife, going off that definition, I guess I've had someone who technically could have been my work husband, but I never looked at it that way or thought to call them that. Like we just got along. They was cool. They just so happened to be a man. And wait, what?
I'm sorry. No, I was just reading some of the comments because I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'm gonna say my piece on it. So
okay, but yeah, but no, like according to that definition, I guess you could say I could have had somebody who was technically my work husband. I just never used that phrase, and they never used that with me. I don't, and some people who go off of that definition don't see anything wrong with it. They're like, oh, it's a work spouse. Like you guys work well together. You guys get along together. There's nothing wrong with that. But nowadays you can't. I think to me nowadays you can't just throw that out there and not have somebody wonder like, what you mean work spouse? So I never use that terminology, but I have had males that I worked with, or men who I worked with, that we got along real well, and that was it. And that was the end of it. But that was, so yeah, I guess yes and no. I didn't intentionally have a work husband. I guess I'll just say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Let's take the glasses off.
What happened?
Okay.
What comment did you
Okay.
see?
Well, first of all, I saw Ralph put up there that he said his work wife made sure he stayed on top of things at work. All right, so listen, whatever works for you. I guess it's just me and my personality. Ain't no work wife or work husband over here. And it ain't no negotiating over here. I have never had a work husband. I may have had like a work uncle, somebody who was much older than me that I looked up to, probably knew the job, and I'd be like, "What's up, unc?" or "What's up, auntie?" and things like that, depending on the type of job I was doing. But I have never called anybody a work husband. I don't condone that. I think that that's opening up gates for bullshit, because it's a term of endearment when you call somebody such name like wife, no matter how you mean it, or husband. It becomes of a term of endearment, and people tend to run with it and take it too far. And then people wonder how they start getting people that stalk them at work and things like that. I mean, I think that people should really take a sense of watching some of these videos or these crime shows about how people, I just did it out of, it was just something nice. It was just something, it was a nice gesture. I just said, yeah, and now that person's stalking you because you're trying to figure shit out. I don't play that game. That right there crosses the line to me. Me and Stevie got married June 21st, 2014. I am his wife. There is no work wife. That is my husband. There is no work husband, because there would be no work. If there was a work wife, there would be no work. He wouldn't be able to go to work because the place would be shut down. I don't play that, hitting nobody up, my work wife, my work husband. Nobody should be having to make you stay on top of your job or make sure you stay on top of your job where you have to call them your work wife. That's your coworker who was looking out for her coworker. And that's the fuck it. What you mean, my work wife made sure I was on top of my job? You got a whole wife at home, children, you paying a mortgage, you paying bills. You talking about your work wife made sure you stayed on top of your job at work. What you mean? Your coworker was looking out for you, making sure you was doing your job to support your wife at home.
Ralph never do that again.
With your what? It
her curls all
take my glasses off for that. I gotta make sure I read that shit correctly. Are you kidding me? Don't ever say no shit like that to me again. No work wife made sure I stayed on top. Ralph, are you crazy, Ralph? Oh my God. I will be at your house tonight. Are you crazy?
You probably need to pull up and ask him if he's gonna ever do that again.
I might have to pull up. Like what?
Ralph,
I bet Ralph ain't never, if he ever even think about a work wife, it's gonna go right out the window.
Never again. Never again. Like, and all jokes aside, I'm so afraid of the what ifs when it comes to stuff like that. Like, people really be taking chances on starting these work relationships to the point where they don't realize that people be mental. Some people be really mental. What you mean? I would get so busy with other people. Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. You're doing what they're paying you to do. So you're very busy with what they're paying you to do. That's wonderful. I love it. I love to hear it. But to say your work wife, no. Next time you type that shit in and say my
never again,
who I had a really great relationship with, made sure that I was on top of my job. Like,
yeah, I mean, again, I get that some people, like I mentioned before, don't look at it that way. And I personally, like I said, if I found out that my husband had a work wife, or he referred to her as that, I'm not gonna lie, it would probably bother me as well. I'm not a fan of it. I think that's just that's opening too many doors and ideas, because it's not more so him I'll be worried about. If I trust him, that's fine. But the other person might take that as, oh, I'm his work. People take that serious.
Right. And then be calling outside of work.
And just think about it. Let's just think about it. Let's just put this picture up there because I have worked with people who are very private. They're very private. We know that they're married. We know that they have a significant other, but they're very private about, first of all, my wife or my husband does not come to my job because they just pay attention to a lot of things like that. You know, I don't put a lot of pictures up in my office. Just I'm going to get work right tomorrow. It's all right though, because guess what, Rob? I can hear that engine a mile away. you already fucked up your bumper. You already messed.
Bumper already gone. He gonna be missing doors.
Right up. Listen, not too much, Ralph. Take it easy. Take it easy. But no, seriously, I know people who are very discreet with their private life at work because they want to keep work with work. And so just imagine if you have this work wife, but you also have this wife at home. And let's just say this wife is in the neighborhood and you tell this wife to come by and this woman walks inside your office and says, hey, I'm here to look for so-and-so. And your work wife has now taken on this title where she feels like she has to ask questions about who are you and why you want them. You liable to get somebody's teeth knocked down their throat. Are you serious?
That's why it's important. If you are the type of person who is okay with that, you do got to make sure you're careful with who you have that sort of relationship with, because it can definitely be taken the wrong way. You don't know what the other person's intentions is. So I see where you're coming from.
Right.
And especially if you married, they single. That's a whole problem already.
And a lot of times that don't even matter. That don't even matter a lot of times, especially these days. That don't matter no more because I am married. I post my husband all the time. When I say my DMs are flooded, they flooded.
Sometimes that attracts
my husband. I post my husband. I've been with my husband almost 20 years. I post him all the time, and my shit is flooded.
Sometimes it's simple or weird. It's not even like, sometimes it's just that makes them want to try to get at you more just because they feel
they think I'm joking on Facebook. I have put my whole description out there. I'm lazy. I barely clean my own house. I fuss about cooking, even though I will get up and cook. I'm lazy. I give lazy side booty action because I be tired. I'm not doing I don't have good knees. I put all this stuff on Facebook to try to say, y'all don't want me. I'm spoiled as hell. And I'm spoiled rotten. So you don't want me. It don't stop them. That's why I be like, you could be married, walk around with a wedding ring on. If you give somebody that title at your job, trust and believe they're going to eventually try to prove that they can do more than what the person is that you have at home can do. People be out here fishing for other people's men and other people's women because they don't know how to go out and actually seek to get a relationship to start on their own. They don't have that oomph about them to be able to do stuff like that. Like, I got swag. I can go anywhere. I can talk to anybody. I can pull anybody if I wanted them to because I have that in me. Some people just don't have that. So they have to seek out somebody else's somebody by way of, oh, no, don't worry about that. I'll clock you in because you're running late. Don't worry about that. I'll make sure that I'll put you in that. Go ahead and get to work. I'll put your lunch in the refrigerator. Now you're trying to do all of these grand gestures of things to make this person look at you and be like, ooh, not knowing that this man got a big black ass wife back here that's ready.
Ready.
Like, you know, they be doing that to like my husband. Their food smells so good. Who made my wife? I did.
Right.
Yep, this woman right here. I got big hands. Yeah, I did that. You know, sometimes you just gotta be that way. You can't be too friendly. Those terms of endearments cause people to become too friendly, and you gotta watch yourself.
Absolutely. And that brings us to our main topic for the day. I know everybody's he done got too friendly, and now we talking about him. Ime Udoka. He is the Nigerian American. I guess is he a head coach, rookie head coach of the Boston Celtics. He is, I guess, no longer dating Nia Long. They were engaged for like 7-8 years. Was together since like 2010, so they've been together for a hot 20 almost. So it's like, you know, you done gave all this time to this man, and he just not only dealing with somebody outside of the relationship, but basically the boss's wife, he's cheating with, I forget her name, but one of the minority owners' wife. And now he is suspended for this season, for the 2022 and 23 season. He is suspended, and they will reevaluate whether he has a job or not after the season is over. So we do have a special guest with us today. He is one fourth of the said podcast that we do here on Annette. And
LB.
is LB ready? Lavoris Winfrey of the said podcast is with us. What's going on, L? Unmute yourself.
What's up? What's up?
Thanks
Welcome
for joining us
to the
today.
ladies' side.
Thank
Hello,
you. Thank you for
hello.
having me.
So, what's your take on all of this? You do the sports.
Um,
What's your personal opinion on the matter? And then I want to hear the sports opinion of the matter.
Right.
Personally, I feel that he got what he deserved. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all, you guys talked about relationships, especially Lauren being in a long-term relationship with her husband. I got 13 years married with mine, so there's no way in the world I can even think about that. So, with that being said, he got what he deserved. He actually got off kind of light considering
Yes.
who was with, because we talked about it kind of briefly before the show started. These companies, and the NBA is a company, have these agreements where you can't date certain people in the office. So he broke that. I think the reason why it's not as bad as it was because it was consensual. So he got off for the suspension. He'll be back though. I mean, like I
Only
said, my
mom.
personal thing, he got what he deserved.
Only Moan.
Right, only mom.
Yeah.
I have an opinion about this. I had in my little research. I was doing a bunch of research on different podcasts, different shows, radio shows, and all that might have been talking about it. And Stephen A. Smith was on The Breakfast Club, and he was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
He brought a different perspective on it, which I didn't think about, but now that he said something, it kind of brings up a question. It kind of brings up a question. So, what Stephen A. Smith was saying is that they could have just fired him, let him go find another place to work, and could have he wouldn't have, his career wouldn't be ruined, which we don't know if it's ruined yet unless they fire him, because now you've put it out there in the press that he has this going on, and then you expect for somebody to want to hire him after that. That probably ain't gonna be the case. But Stephen A. Smith was saying that's what they normally do when this happens, because it happens all the time. And my personal opinion is that it got public because it's Nia Long. Like, as that's my personal opinion. That's why it's so out there. Just like with Matt Barnes and his situation when that happened, is because of who they are, not necessarily. I don't know if race plays a part, because that's one thing that Stephen A. Smith was saying too. Like, the white guys in the NBA that do the same thing in the office, they are not as chastised as the black guys. They're fired, let go. They can go work for another team, probably at a lower pay grade, but they're still working. And if after all of this is over, the Celtics decide that they don't want to keep him on, it's like who's gonna get him? Like, is anybody gonna want him after all of this is over?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what he was saying. Like, is anybody going to want him? Like, why are you coming down so hard on him when you didn't come down on others in the same way? So I kind of agree with him. Yeah, and I agree with him in that matter, because when Matt Barnes did it, he was all over, the internet and the sports radio shows and everything too. So, and both of them are black. I can't tell you one white NBA official that has
who's
been
black. You said Matt Barnes is black.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Barnes.
He's
the one that was messing with that Gloria
something.
Van Gogh girl, something like that. One of them Van Gogh girls. Okay. Yeah. See, nobody cares about them.
Yeah, no.
Nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about Gloria and the 5 kids he has with her. The reason why they're coming down so hard on him is because he's black. He's black.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This other cat, he ain't black. Matt Barnes ain't black. Okay. This one right here, he black, and he dating a black woman. And he's dating
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
America's black women idols. Everybody
Yeah.
loves Nia Long. So
That's
he's
why I
gonna
said
be
that.
first of all, let's talk about the fact that you're a black man who became a head coach in one of the most racist places, Boston, that's still left on this earth. First of all, Boston is highly racist,
Mm-hmm.
and they thought enough of you to put your black ass in this high position, and you go out here and fumble the bag. Let me tell you how that shit pisses me off, because white men can do this shit. They can do that. And I'm sorry, it's gonna always be a double standard. And the sooner that we as black people understand that and stop trying to push this envelope of, well, if they can do it, we can, the better off we gonna be when it comes to us being and getting these professional positions.
That's
He
true.
cannot do what the white man can do. You cannot do that. So this is the whole thing.
Everybody's
This
trying
is
to
going to
kick
come
against
down hard
it.
on him. Is he going to be able to work again as a coach? Hell yeah! Because what he brought to the NBA is unmatched.
Right.
And they're going to want him to bring that again, whether it's with this team or another team. Period. This is a business right here. But the business aspect of it is, bro, you're gonna have to feel this shit. You're gonna have to still feel that you are black, no matter how good you're doing. You still gonna have to feel this. And that's the shit that be pissing me off. Why fumble the bag over pussy? Really?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't get fired is big because he's still under contract. So even after this year, he has another 4 or 5 years guaranteed.
Right.
But fire him not, he still don't get paid. NBA,
Right.
all their contracts are guaranteed. But the fact that they didn't fire him is big because he was brought in by the GM personally. The GM was the coach last year and said, I want this guy because he was a great assistant from a couple other teams. And he's good. First year coach, get your team to the NBA finals. You lost to a better team. You got a young team. The players love him. Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation for him because, like you said, he fumbled the bag on that part, but he didn't get fired. Even if he did, he still would have got a job because no matter what, he's going to serve an NBA suspension.
Right.
If he gets fired,
Yeah.
somebody hired him, no matter when, he's going to serve that time. So he's going to eat this time up. He's going to go back, shoot some basketballs, and all of it forgotten. Like you said, the last situation that was big like this was 2012. NCAA football coach Bobby Petrino, coach University of Arkansas. He got caught with his side chick on a motorcycle. Only reason why he got caught because he got into an accident, and now it came out like, oh well, yeah, he hired her. He hired her on the staff, so he got fired immediately. He made his way back to the top because you get fired in that sport. You can go coach WC3 basketball somewhere and make it back up to the top. That's just how it goes. So Doka, he fumbled the bag for the year. It's like I said, it's tough because how everybody looks at, and they got a kid together too. You know what I'm saying? That's big too. They got a child together, and now it's everywhere. And,
that shit don't mean nothing.
No, I'm saying it's unfortunate that she.
No, I
has
mean, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about like our pinpoint little things like that. They had a child together. That's little. That's little because honestly, that shit don't mean nothing. Like I'm gonna have to always be the realest when it comes to shit like this. When it comes to anybody cheating in a relationship, that's little. That's small potatoes that somebody got a child with that person. Because that shit went out the door way back when men was out here creating more and more and more babies outside their relationship with the women that they already had a child with. So that's small potatoes, like to what pisses me off is the fact that you did this. This is your career. You are putting bad juju on your career moving forward to the future. Is he going to be able to get another job? Absolutely, because he knows sports, and he's a man. So he's going to be able to secure a bag elsewhere if he can't go back to the Celtics or whatever the case may be. What it is that why taint your name like that? Why do that? See, I give a fuck more about your name, especially when you are black and you've gotten to such a position. That's the thing that upsets me is when we do stuff like that to ourselves. Nobody else did that to us. We did it to ourselves. You fought hard. You worked your ass off to get to this position, only now to have your name plastered across the news for some bullshit like this, for some shit like this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit that bothers me. And we be talking about Nia Long. Like Nia Long, she bad. I ain't gonna stunt. Nia Long bad as fuck. Okay, I won't give her that because I would lay Nia Long ass the fuck down. Y'all don't understand. But aside from all that, she's just another woman with a vagina. Let's stop giving these women these go-tos because from what it was said for so long that she got a nasty ass attitude and she talks to any and everybody like they're her minions. So tell me one thing
I've
about this
heard
though.
that.
If you are in the company of a badass chick and she got a nasty attitude, how hard is your dick gonna get for you to want to fuck her? Most men will be like, she bad. I mean, I might still hit her, but damn, Shorty got a nasty ass attitude. Shorty got this because y'all looking at these things these days. Now, had this been the 90s, y'all wouldn't have given a fuck. Y'all just would have been like, she got a nasty attitude, but she bad. I'm gonna bust her down. But these days, most men, at least 96% of men, are going off of vibes and energy and these women's attitudes, and they don't want to be too attached to these women with these badass attitudes. So why couldn't, like, the fact that he cheated on her? Oh well, he cheated on her.
Yeah, this was an
I mean,
HR issue in my perspective. Like Stephen A. Smith said, like this was an HR issue. You cheated with somebody at work.
Right.
Like people get cheated on every day. I just told y'all I got cheated on with 5 different women at work. So it happens.
You know how many times I didn't been cheated on? I look good. I look good.
What was you saying? Who was you about to say, LV?
No, I was just saying I brought up the kid because now your kid is looking at this in the news. That's all. I wasn't bringing like,
oh yeah,
kids, but I was bringing it up to say like, the kid. I think he's 12. The 12-year-old boy is seeing what his dad is doing. So now you set a bad example for your son who had to find out, like we all find out through the news. He didn't have time to sit down and talk to his family because hey, it's out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I brought the kid up. I don't feel bad that that's not a factor.
The kid, you know what? The kid will be fine. You know why? The kid will be totally fine because he will see the pain that this caused his mother. And they'll talk to him about it, you know, so he'll be fine.
I think the part that the kids have to face, unfortunately, in his case, is the fact that they're in the spotlight. So like he might be okay with it and deal with it in his own household, but everybody sees it. Everybody knows who Nia Long is. And then if he goes, I don't know if he goes to private school or what his school system or his school situation is like, but kids can be cruel. And that's the unfortunate part because if their parents is hearing everything that's going on and the kids is hearing everything and they know that his mama is Nia Long, he gonna come to school and kids is gonna say all kind of and you never know, teachers, they might not say nothing, but you know what I mean? Like
looking at them funny and
definitely like
in the spotlight, you really have to be careful because
and I agree with Lauren when she said the part about Nia Long being this for us guys being this, you know, this figure, but like I said, your attitude means everything. You know, so she can be who she is, but she has a bad attitude. I can't rock with you. Like you could be the best thing in the world, but if you got a stank attitude, I mean, so he probably looked at the girl. She said one thing to him, which that's how we react. We react off, oh, hey, nice shirt, oh, word, and then now because he ain't hearing that at home, probably.
Right.
You know, so something little like that and take it and blow it up.
Exactly.
And
I don't say that to make it seem like that's a justifiable reason, but it is somewhat of an understanding as to why some men do go out and cheat. You know, I've been told before that I don't show enough affection. That's something that I work towards every single day. You know, that another female who was more attentive in an affectionate way was able to woo my man. Because I am very, very much like, you know, I'm a strong female. And a lot of it stems from the fact that I didn't grow up watching women in my household love on men. I grew up with a grandmother who, first of all, was West Indian, and second of all, worked to take care of her 3 children and adopted her grandchild, me, and she took care of me. So she taught me how to go to work, how to get a paycheck, how to take care of my home, how to pay these bills, how to make sure any children I had was fed and clothed and bathed, and that they had a roof over their head. This is what she taught me. Not once did I ever see her kiss a man, hug a man, or she never even told me she loved me. She wasn't very affectionate. So when I got with men, I was like, what's up, my nigga? You know, like Like, and it's sad, you know, and it's really sad
Yeah.
that it caused such a rift between me and Stevie for a very, very long time because I just wasn't that way. And guess what happened? Somebody else was able to be that way and get my husband's attention.
Yeah.
So I had to work
Yeah.
on that. That's something, and that could also be an issue with Nia Long. Maybe she needs to work on how she is and the way she talks to men and the way she talks to people in general. Because from what it was said in the article I read was that it don't matter who you are, she gonna talk to you however she so choose to talk to you because she is
Oh
Nia.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know, comedian some more. That's her sister. They don't even
She
talk.
don't even, and they don't even have a
So
relationship.
Right.
I
that
mean,
that
you know,
will
at
that
the end of the
will
day, I
tell you
think
right
it's just
there.
sad that it seems like the most how can I say this? It's sad that the most logical solution to this is not realistic anymore. Like if you have a wife or a husband with an attitude that bad to where you like everyone always says just leave if it's that bad where you about to cheat, especially when you're in a situation like his where he's everything is like on the line. Like it's just I don't know. I get it. I get that, you know, there's certain factors that can make
Hey,
somebody
Dominique.
um that can make somebody, you know, step out and things like that. But like you were saying, Lauren, if it's so bad to the point where you're willing to fumble the bag or jeopardize your career, you might need to get a divorce or something, because
Yep.
that wouldn't have done anything to him financially at all. He just
Right,
would have,
right.
you know, like with his career and everything. I mean, it would have been unfortunate, but and then we are,
Exactly.
yeah, it's just I don't know. I just think it's sad that today is just like cheating is becoming more understood
Do you
than
see what Ralph just put there? That is exactly
He
what it is.
stayed because she's Nia Long.
Because she's Nia Long.
Yeah.
It's no different than how it used to be a long time ago when men would date dumbass women because they look good, because it was something good for them to be able to showboat and show off. And it's no different than a man in that position right now. He does not, first of all, want to be seen with, I guess, quote unquote, you know, I don't know, somebody who's not of status fame. He don't want to be seen with somebody who they have to figure out who is this person. He likes to be seen with somebody where everybody already know, damn, he got Nia Long. Like, and in actuality, this man could be living in a house of horrors right now. That man could be at
Mhm.
home getting verbally abused by that woman, and she could be walking around talking to him. I'm motherfucking Nia Long. Bitch, you short, you bow-legged, and you bald-headed. You are a woman. You are no different than any other female out here. You are not carrying anything. When you open your legs, gold does not shoot out.
But
So you know what I'm saying?
she's carrying that status though. She's carrying that
But she's,
status
you
and
know
being
why? Because we've
alone.
given her that
Yeah,
status.
of course.
Right.
Of course.
But
And
It
I
needs to
was
be
just
taken
saying
away.
in general though, I was just like, I know like everybody has their reasons for staying. In his case, it could have been because of who she is. But at the end of the day, again, it just goes down to what I was saying before. Like it's very common, celebrity or not, that people will stay with someone, whether it's because they got money, whether it's because they're pretty or a trophy, whatever. And it just I don't know. And then it's like, and if her being Nia Long is that important, then you about to risk losing that too. So I mean,
Right.
she's staying
Right.
for a reason. I mean, I don't know if because you said that they trying to work it out, right?
Yeah, it's been said that a publicist mentioned that they are trying to work it out. This is, like I said, is not his first time cheating. So she's been around the block with him in this situation before. This is just the first time that it became so public because it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's because
Yeah.
of his position. It's because of who. Now, if this was some regular little plain Jane female, it probably wouldn't have got no type of notoriety or in the news. But they probably would have just said Nia Long's fiance gets caught cheating. They didn't even get that man a name. They put him in the thing as Nia Long's fiance, who's the head coach of the Boston Celtics. They didn't even really put his name in a lot of them
Right.
until they, you know, until people really started saying his name.
And another thing
Right.
too, it's when it happened, initially happened, it was a slow time in sports. It was like the first 2 weekends of football, basketball's in the off season. So anything they can talk about or blow it up, they can. Just speaking from a sports perspective. That's why
That's
you
true.
saw
They
it on
got to
the
talk
first
about
case
something.
on all the sports shows. They usually you do gossip like that, but since they took that and the timing of when it happened, it gave us something to talk about for an hour.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so it's just the
That's true.
timing too.
And then on top of all of this, you go cheat with your boss's wife,
That's
and
tough.
she
Mm-hmm.
is in the background talking about he was inappropriate with me before we even had anything going on, like trying to blame him. Well, ma'am, that was an HR issue. He was inappropriate with you. You reported, not sleep with him. Like what? Like
it just takes me back to my theory of I feel like he was set up. I feel like he was set up from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And that could just be my conspiracy theory thinking, but I really feel like he was set up from the beginning. I don't feel like they did wanted his black ass out there. First of all, they didn't want him out there.
They didn't.
No, the owner did. The owner likes him. The GM.
Oh, I guess he don't like him no more.
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, after this. So I just think I think what happened, I think they got caught by the wrong person. That's true. That's true. Not no more. But he didn't fire him either, though. So,
but she said about the conspiracy, they're like a setup. For all we know, he probably said, like, go ahead. What's her name? This is the wife's name.
Whatever her name is. I don't even. And that's crazy too. Like, what is her name?
And that's what I'm saying.
We ain't even seen her face.
Everything be a business. Everything is about business, and I would not be surprised if it did come out that this was like if some text messages or some messages come out within like a year-long investigation about when it started and how this started, and all of a sudden they start seeing things like, you know, I would not be surprised if it comes out that they really did never wanted him in Boston to begin with. They had to figure out a plan of how to get his ass out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They, who you mean by they?
Just anybody, just anybody.
The organization.
The organization.
I know he was definitely handpicked for that job. When the coach last year said he wanted to be a GM, he said, "Well, I want this to be my head coach." Like he wanted that guy. Now, like you said, circumstances changed because we don't know who actually caught them initially. Somebody.
It was the husband.
Okay, well, yeah. So yeah, I mean, so now he's here now. Now I don't want him there, but it's probably more lucrative.
He caught him on their Ring camera.
Oh yeah. See,
now I don't know if it was he caught him in person, like maybe he was leaving her house or something, or if he caught her on the phone talking to him. But you know, if you stand on that the Ring camera, it will record it. So I think that's how he ended up getting the understanding of his wife was getting banged out by the coach that he picked.
Yeah. You know, interestingly though, like since she's been revealed, just to put it out there, I think he's getting even more heat because and it shouldn't matter, but to some people it does, but he's getting more heat because the mistress was a white woman. And and I was listening to what you guys were saying about like race playing a factor into this, where it's like, you know, I immediately thought about Tiger Woods' situation where all the women that he was sleeping with were white women, and they felt like that was a factor that added to the fuel to the fire. Because they felt like, you know, back, I don't know how like they thought about it exactly, but it seemed like, you know, I guess people felt like they were like, oh, and you slept with white women, how dare you? Like, I don't know, but it's just
like you ain't gonna be nailed to the cross because you cheated with a white woman. I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You go, you know, if you're gonna have a side piece, you just gonna have a side piece. I mean, whatever. No matter what color they are.
It really don't matter. I just thought it was interesting that people were getting more infuriated. Like,
well, of course they're gonna get more infuriated because he wasn't already with a white woman. If he had already been with a white woman and cheated with another white woman, that would be different. If he was with a white woman and cheated with a black woman, it would have been understandable. From some people's thinking, it would have been understandable.
Yeah.
If he's a black man with a white woman and he cheats with a white woman, they automatically will insist that this white woman was coming on to him. She did everything she could to seduce Nia Long's man. And it probably wasn't even that. This man has a record history of cheating on Nia Long. He is a ladies' man. It has been said for the longest. So who knows? This man could have been baiting her, but she also could have stuck out a leg or two. You know what I'm saying? She probably could have saw him watching and could have probably fed off of that as well. I don't trust anybody these days when it comes to these scandals like that, because all this shit be setups. At the end of the day, it comes out to be set up. And none of these people sat back and said, I feel like that's my soulmate over there. I looked at her across the court and I see her and I thought that was my soulmate. I said I had to get me some of that. That's no. It ain't gonna ever go like that. It's always somebody starts something somewhere. It's always a motive. Like,
yeah, that's true. Always.
I just feel really bad for her. I know this situation. I hope she didn't find out the same way we did. I don't know, but
she found out through the news.
Yeah, she did not know about this, and they had this story out there for months. I want to even say even a year. Like when it got started, when it was found out and discovered, the coach went to, HR or whatever, and they handled it in-house at first. I don't know exactly what made them come to the conclusion, like what they're saying made them come to the conclusion that they needed to have a press.
So apparently it was some teammates who initially found out first.
Mm-hmm.
It was teammates who found out first, and I guess the teammates was trying to hold them to the code of conduct of you need to let this go, or we're gonna say something. You know what I'm saying? I guess probably out of fear that first of all he took them to the finals. They probably looking at it like this has probably been the best coach we've had. We don't want to lose this man. We want to keep him, bro. You got to cut this shit out before we lose you. And he decided no, because he was too busy hunching on this woman. He couldn't get it. He couldn't, let go. So I think it was mentioned to the coach, to the owner, something may be going on. And I think that's how the owner probably end up checking his ring cameras and end up catching more and more tea that way. And then it just came to a head at that point.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. And then once it starts getting around, you got to say something.
Right.
Yep.
And somebody got it in the right news hands. And you got to say something after that, too. So they probably didn't even want to suspend him, probably wanted to handle it in-house or fire him or whatever the case. They probably didn't want to go as far as they needed to go, but it's out now. So
another interesting part is the coach that's taking over from him right now, because the team is still good. It actually got better. They made some nice pieces this offseason. If he ended up doing at least matching or even getting them back to almost that same spot, it could be a possibility to just let him go, because you still going to have to bring that drama back in once the season starts back up. He's going to step forward. You're not going to see him for the whole year. So now when offseason comes back next year, he'll be back. The media going to be asking questions. And does Boston want to deal with that? So that could be big too. So they might just say, you know what, we'll go ahead and let you go.
I don't think he's going to come back. I don't think they're going to bring him back. That's just, and I'm not a basketball person. Please don't anybody that's watching this confuse me with understanding sports. I know football. That's it. I don't know about no basketball. I know it's men. I don't know how many men. I know they got nice butts and they dribble a ball and they shoot it. That's all I know. That's it. That's the gist of what I know about basketball. But as far as looking at it from a business, now I know business. Looking at it from a business standpoint, I do not see this being a smart business move, which is to bring him back next year. I don't see that being a smart move.
Yes and no. So what's going on with Deshaun Watson with the Cleveland Browns. He got suspended 8 games. He's gonna be back playing football. And he had all those counts about the women who said he touched them, who were the masseuses. He's coming back to play. You come back, you score a touchdown, and make a basket, all is forgiven. That's how the sports world works.
But okay, so is this so with him? Is it still pending? Like, do they actually have hardcore evidence that proves that this man is guilty for doing what he's done? What they're saying he's did?
As far as I know, right now, the suspension is the most they're gonna do right now. I don't know if they're about anything else they're gonna do, because they both of them at one point said it was consensual. So with them saying that off rip, other than they both admitted to that part.
I'm talking about the other player.
Hold on, he's done. They settled out of court. They all settled out. It was one woman that was holding. One woman was holding on. She said, "I don't want to settle. I want him to go down." Eventually, she settled, and that was the last one. And so he'll be back playing in a couple weeks.
Probably gave her more money than what he was gonna give her in the first place.
Yeah, because he signed the richest contract after they found out about these women. The Cleveland Browns still gave him the richest contract for an NFL player ever. Yep. So,
and that's kind of why we don't know what's gonna happen here, because I mean, look what he's done for the Celtics. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's so hard to say what I think about it from an ethical standpoint of you got to come back, and now these people have to trust you again or trust you to do your job.
But the players already have his back. They still saying, I love Coach. He's my coach. It's unfortunate, but we're looking at basketball wise. You know what I'm saying? They're like, that's his personal life. We're looking at basketball.
It's going to boil down to, can you do the job?
Right. Well, we know he
did this interfere with it.
He's good.
Yeah, we know it didn't interfere with his work.
No,
That's
like
true.
the ethical part of it, but his work still,
Right.
the proof was there.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
So, well, I guess we just gonna have to wait and see how this whole this thing play itself out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either way, to be honest with you, because this is a man's
it's
world.
a man's
And
world.
business wise, for the owner, you let him go, you still got to pay him that guaranteed money. There's
Yeah,
there's
that's
nothing in this
true.
contract that's going to delete that. So if you're going to pay him, might as well keep him, or you can let him go. You got to eat that money no matter what.
Yeah.
So
Right. So L, last question, then we got to get out of here because we overtime. So do you think that this is gonna hurt this season for the Celtics, or do you think they'll be fine?
they'll be fine. They're still one of the best teams in their conference. Yeah, they'll be fine. They're still
You
at the
think
same
he's done
table. They
enough
made
to
more. They
set them
made
up?
more. Yeah, I mean the GM was their coach last year, so he's in there. The new coach's ear now. Give him everything he needs to know. He'll be ready. So they'll be okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I had to be quiet on that second because I don't know nothing about no sports.
no.
I said I'm gonna just be quiet.
I know
I'm
basketball,
gonna
but
sit this one out. Yeah.
Nope,
Now, if
nope,
you want to talk to me
nope.
about some football, baby, we
Okay.
talk about some football. But
All right.
basketball, I don't even know what the news tell me.
right. Speaking of LV, let them know where we can find you and
Right.
Oh
your
yeah,
co-host throughout the week.
yeah. We got our sports podcast on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, man. We we talk about this and more. We're usually drunk by now. We're about 30, 40 minutes in, we're drunk, so it's a lot of jibber jabber. But we have fun, and we talk about this kind of stuff over there.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you
definitely
said
got to
Tuesday at 8.
tune in.
Wednesdays.
Wednesday at 8, right
Wednesday
here
8.
on the Any and Everything podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video and other videos that
That's
you may
right.
be able to watch next week. Make sure y'all catch the guys that will be back for the Any and Everything podcast. We had to
Oh no,
take over on
it may
today.
be the guys, it may be all of us. Who knows?
It might be all of
It
us. You
might
don't
be
never know because
everybody.
we be trying to take over. But
We
as for
gotta,
today,
we gotta bring the two. We gotta bring the two back in there. Me and Mark.
we
Gotta
do.
get us back in there.
We do. Pretty soon we're going to have to do another collab. And then maybe we can get Said in there too.
Right.
Get all of us up
Okay.
in there.
Okay.
So
No
that,
problem.
that's about it for us today, y'all.
Right, yeah.
Thanks
All right,
so
y'all
much for
enjoy the rest of
watching.
your beautiful Sunday. Have a good rest of y'all week. All that jazz, all that.
All of that. All right.